Recently, there's been some Rocket League Twitch drama about viewbotting. Viewbotting is when you artificially inflate your viewership to make it seem like you have more viewers than you really have. They're fake viewers, essentially, which, when you think about it, doesn't seem like that big of a deal, but I'll tell you why it can be a problem. But first, let's talk about how this even happened in the first place. This all started from a tweet from ApparentlyJack, well-known pro player, content creator. He does a lot of stuff in Rocket League. He did end up deleting the tweet, and really the only thing left from it is this Reddit post, right? Who is Jack talking about here? Anyone notice any pros with viewbots? And the tweet just doesn't exist. Basically, along the lines, Jack's tweet said, you know, there's some Rocket League streamers who are viewbotting, and it's so obvious. And he did kind of make a statement about it, which I will read a little bit later in the video as well. You know, you go on the Twitch section of Rocket League, and some people just looked inflated. Like, if you went to their chat, they had no chatters, right? Nobody was saying anything, but for some reason, they had a lot of viewers, right? Which is, you know, if you are looking at viewbotting, it does look pretty suspicious. So, like, for an example, KDOP, 5.4K viewers. You know, if he was viewbotting and you went in his chat and nobody was talking, it would look a little suspicious, right? 5.4K and there's nobody there. But there's a lot of reasons why people might not talk in a Twitch chat. There are some people who have more lurking communities, which means people don't talk as much in those chats. And there are some people who have much more active chats. And, you know, I've done and played games where, or you know, maybe I play Rocket League and I have a fairly active chat on Rocket League, and I switch to another game and I have 500 viewers and maybe 1 or 2 people talking in chat, which it does happen quite a bit, but it does look a little suspicious. Before I get too ahead of myself, let's talk about why this is actually a problem. Why is viewbotting an issue? It's a thing on Twitch. It's not just Rocket League specific. A bunch of people have done it in the past. I wouldn't say a majority of people do it, but there are a select few people who do it. I think the easiest thing here to do is, let's use KDOP as an example. Poor KDOP, I just keep bringing him up. But he's the French phenom. Everybody knows he's legit, okay? KDOP's here with 5.6K viewers. Let's say, hypothetical, KDOP had 100 viewers, 100 real viewers, or 50, whatever. It doesn't matter. A lower amount than he does right now. And he has 50 viewers. So, you know, I'm looking at the Rocket League Twitch section. 100 viewers would be right here, which is the 17th, 18th stream down. Right? There's a very low chance, unless he has a very compelling title, that I'm going to click on his stream. But in the scenario of KDOP, right, if he decided to bot himself for 5.5K viewers, he would be number 1 at 5.6K. And so a lot of times when people go to the Rocket League section, the first person they see will be KDOP. And you'll be more inclined to click if that is the case. Not because it's KDOP, but because they're the first one in the section. So that would be problem number 1. Another thing that people brought up is that this is actually a Dazarin tweet. I'll just read this one. He said, not y'all taking spots from people who work hard to create unique content because you're viewbotting and buying followers. Wouldn't it be crazy if agents, Twitch rivals, Sonics, orgs found out? I wonder what they would do. So yeah, people, there is there's a limited amount of money, right? Every business has a limited amount of money. Orgs have a limited amount of money. They can only sign X amount of creators, whatever that may be. Some are 0, some are 10, whatever. The people who are viewbotting apparently are taking spots from orgs, right? And Dazarin is saying that these people, other people, are working very hard to create unique content, do all this stuff, and then somebody's getting a free paycheck because they're just viewbotting to, you know, a closer to the top part of the section, maybe getting a contract because of it. For the sake of followers, the argument for followers buying followers is not really a big thing, because I don't think that matters when you're looking at orgs and sponsorships, which I will say sponsorships are a large part of money that creators do end up making. Followers doesn't matter. No sponsor, no org looks at your follower account. They look at your engagement. So when you're streaming and you have 1,000 viewers or whatever, they're looking at how many people are talking in chat, how tight your community is. Is it like a group thing? Is it a spread out? You know, it's like how close is everybody in that community? And for, say, Twitter, right, you make a tweet, you have 1,000 followers. If you get 1,000 likes on your tweet, that is great engagement. You know, if you got 100,000 impressions on 1,000 followers, they don't care about your follower count. They care if every single tweet is getting that amount of impressions. That's what they want. So after the first few tweets go out, we start to see more and more people tweeting about these viewbotters. This is so obvious, yada, yada, this is happening. Other people are like, I don't know what's happening. Who is this guy? At least say the name. The community is pretty split, right? It's so obvious. Just say the name, say the people, whatever it is. I have no idea who it is personally, but you know, I mean, I can show you a bunch of these tweets as well. 99% of Rocket League streamers are not viewbotting. Don't start thinking everyone is fake. There are a few people that I highly suspect. You can never assume they're doing it to themselves, which is a very good point from JG here, and I was going to get into that later. But it's hard to ignore weird numbers if it's your job. JJ's saying, you know, it's his job to be a streamer. When he sees somebody who looks like they have an unfair advantage, it's kind of leaves a bad taste in his mouth, right? Tryhouse responds to Dad's Ranch tweet, which you read earlier, and it says, this has been a problem since I started streaming. Sucks to compete against. Viewbotting has always been a problem on Twitch. I'm sure it's like people do it on YouTube. I don't know. TikTok. I'm sure you can buy views, followers on any platform. I don't think there's any shortage of that. Turanturo says, Jesus Christ, just heard the details on the Rocket League Twitch viewbotting scheme. Actually diabolical. These people are going to be ruined. Okay. All right. Just heard who's viewbotting. Damn, y'all will be surprised. It's not just one person. LOL. So everybody who doesn't know, who's not in the know, is probably equally as pissed off, right? Because they're just like, okay, well, who is it, right? People want to know. It's this whole thing of, oh, actually, if you knew what I knew, you would be very surprised. And everybody's annoyed. So here's the other half of the community, right? And then you got OSM. It literally makes no sense to make a tweet about someone viewbotting Rocket League, then not expose them for it. Allow them to face the consequences of viewbotting by not talking about who they are. You only continue to protect them. AJ says, just gotta flex. They know something we don't, which is what I just said. Alpha Cap says, I was curious on this too. I've been trying to see who it is and who everybody was talking about, right? I didn't read that right, but that's just the gist of it, right? But that is the problem, right? Now that all these tweets have gone out, oh, it's so obvious. You just gotta look for it. That's the problem, because now there's so many streamers who are just going live. And I watch Rocket League quite a bit. Even in the Twitch section, I watch a lot of streams. So many streamers that I watch now are sitting there and like having to defend themselves of like, I'm not the viewbotter, guys. I'm not the viewbotter. It's not me. But it's like, that's the problem that this is creating. I also did mention this as well. What JG said was a very specific part of what he said. You can never assume they are doing it to themselves, which is a big thing. Somebody's stream, say just my stream for example, right? Maybe I actually get 20 viewers on a good day. But I have a very kind viewer, very kind, right? Who wants me to do better. So they viewbot me for 950 more viewers, and now I'm sitting there near the top of the Rocket League section next to KDOP, and I'm able to get more viewers because of that, because of a viewer. But that's the issue, right? If you're saying that this person's viewbotting, and this is the problem, if you call them out directly, hey, Rizzo is viewbotting. I'm not viewbotting. It's my viewer. Right? I don't know if it's my viewer, but I'm not viewbotting, right? I'm not doing this. I didn't know there was a viewbot, because other people can do it for you, which is another issue of just calling them out, because if you're wrong, or if it's a false accusation in this sort of sense, this can legitimately ruin somebody's streaming career. His Reddit comment that he made after he deleted the tweet, because people were curious, and he said, this will be my last public comment about this. I deleted anything about the situation on my end because in hindsight, it's useless having it up there after people know it's happening. I want people to know it's happening enough for the people to stop on their own, which I think is fair, actually, right? If you make it public but don't say their name, that person kind of might be scared into stopping, especially if they are somebody from the community, right? Some random outsider, he's not going to care, but if people know, you know, these people are kind of catching on, maybe I should stop doing this. It's logical. I feel like that makes sense. He also goes on to say, it's a mistake they shouldn't do, but I wouldn't want them punished for a long period and have it affect their career long term, which, again, is fair. The tweets were definitely reactionary because for people who are confused why it's such a big issue, it's taking spots on orgs and salaries away from people who deserve it, which is what we mentioned earlier. Orgs, you know, they have a limited amount of money, which means they have limited spots for creators, pros, X amount of whatever. I can buy this amount, whatever. And so, you know, these creators who are boosting their view counts are able to get maybe a spot on an org or a higher salary from an org, both equally taking spots from other people. PR Jack. Good job, Jack. Wow. Perhaps the way I went about it was wrong. Sorry for creating an issue, but I do think it needs to be talked about now, and I do think it will get resolved because of that. This guy, this PR guy. No, honestly, Jack's statement is great. I don't think it was a big issue to make the tweet in the first place, as long as it's actually happening, right? As long as it's actually a thing, because you can kind of make it public, that person might be scared into continue doing it if they know they have eyes on them, or, you know, people are starting to look for this stuff, right? If you know, there's a lot of people on the lookout and you might get caught, you maybe don't want to get caught, so you're going to stop doing it, right? And here is some other stuff from the community. Why say someone's viewbotting if you aren't going to say it? Expose them. I don't understand why you're not saying who the people are. This guy says behind closed doors, and why are you sending out tweets without knowing, creating unnecessary drama and speculation, which I do think the speculation is the worst part of it. But I also, it's like, it's 50-50, right? You're going to get people speculating on who it is, but you're also probably going to get that person to stop if it is a public thing. And then obviously I got to show a meme, get it off the Reddit page. But wait, where's the meme? Oh, here it is. Confront the viewbotter and inform the relevant organizations in private. Farm impressions on Twitter, baby. That's what I'm talking about. Gotta farm those impressions, baby. That's what I'm talking about. That's that good shit right there. And then this guy says name names or shut up, which, you know, basically we already been there. Everybody's talking about that. Name names, shut up, whatever. The idea is the tweet itself, making it public, might scare the person into not doing it as much, which I think it ultimately is a good thing. The speculation is the bad part. So if you are seeing this, if you have seen some of the tweets, and if you're going into Rocket League streams calling the viewbotters, just stop. It's not worth it, you know? I mean, it'll all be settled. It'll be figured out by, honestly, everybody's gonna forget by the time this video comes out anyway, so it doesn't really matter. That's it. I thought it was entertaining. I thought it was interesting. Hope you guys enjoyed. See you next time.